Bunnyman.
And I'm Crazy Susie.
And we are in the Eyes of Terror.
Now it's Thanksgiving time, so we're going to be doing a Thanksgiving movie.
Yeah. Sorry about the hiatus that we've had for about 2 weeks. Everything has just sort of hit us all at once.
Yes, we've had holidays and a bunch of things going on.
Yep. Oh, and to sort of shill for our channel, we have now a Patreon.
Yes, we do.
It's In the Eyes of Terror at patreon.com. And we have different tiers, so check that out if you're interested.
And we also have a Redbubble store.
Yes, with all the illustrations on t-shirts, duvets, computer covers.
Cups, stickers, pretty much anything you could possibly want them on.
Yeah. And then let's see, what else do we have? I feel like we have something else.
I don't know.
I'm starting up 2 new channels, or 1 new channel, and I have a Twitch account. So I have, on Twitch, I'm just basically doing retro gaming. Right now I'm playing through some Warhammer games. And you can find that on Lumber Bunnyman on Twitch. And then I'm going to be starting up a art channel on YouTube, which is called Art Shack. So I'll be posting that all on our Twitter or Instagram. And that's really where you can find us at, is the Twitter and the Instagram for the time being. Anything else?
I don't think so.
We have a lot going on, and we had a lot of going on.
Yeah.
So let's get into without further ado, let's get into the movie.
Today's movie is ThanksKilling.
Gobble gobble, mofo.
This is one of our favorite Thanksgiving Day movies. We watch it every year. This year is no different. Thanksgiving is not complete without
ThanksKilling.
a psycho turkey.
Yes.
IMDb rates this film 4.3 out of 10.
So not good. Not good.
Not so good. You'll have to excuse me. I have a very dry throat and I have mint in my mouth, and hopefully that doesn't impede my talking too much. It is a comedy horror thriller. It was produced in 2007. It came out in 2008, and it was out on DVD in 2009. It is not rated. The director is Jordan Downey. The writers are Jordan Downey, Bradley Schultz, Kevin Stewart, Anthony Wilson, and Grant Yaffe. The producers are Jordan Downey and Kevin Stewart. The crew list. This is funny. The first person listed is actually one of the first people that you see in the film. Her name is Wanda Lust, and she is a performer.
Of the
so that is her
variety
stage name. Yes. And she plays the naked pilgrim. Really, she's not fully nude. She's just bare-chested. So maybe that should say bare-chested pilgrim. Okay, moving on. Natasha Cordova as Allie. Lindsay Anderson as Kristen. Lance Predmore as Johnny. Aaron Ringesser Carlson as Billy. Ryan E. Francis as Darren. General Bastard as Oscar the Herman. Okay then. Jake as Flashy. It's a dog. Chuck Lamb as Sheriff Roud. Pat Love as Cheryl the stepmother. Steve Steinmetz as Man in Car. Jessica Reeves as Johnny's mom. Terry Regan as Johnny's dad. Kevin Stewart as Allie's boyfriend. And Jeff Heim as Man Sane Prayers. Okay, and the storyline for the film is a homicidal turkey axes off college students during the Thanksgiving break. And that pretty much sums it up. Some of the really well-known taglines that IMDb mentions that are in the film, there's a lot of profane words used in the film, but we're going to try to use their, what's the word?
Colloquialism?
Yes. One is Gobble Gobble Mother Puckers. Another is, they say it's the ultimate low budget experience, a killer turkey horror comedy. Warning, boobs in the first second. It's not the first second, it's more like the fourth or fifth. But yes, they're right at the beginning of the film. They're right there.
So,
And we will mention some of our favorite sayings in the film when we get to them.
The runtime is 70 minutes. And then the budget was $3,500. So it is true that you can make a movie on any budget.
Yeah. Practically a shoestring budget because I would say that is definitely a shoestring budget.
I think that's being really generous. I really don't think they even spend that. I mean, if anything, it was on the production of the DVDs. Like, I don't think a lot went into the film, and possibly the getting Wanda Lust to be in the movie within the first few seconds.
Yeah, because she didn't really have a big part. I don't even think she said any words.
No.
She just ran through the woods bare-chested.
Yeah. I think they just wanted some big name performer in there. They don't care how.
So yes, it was definitely a very small budget for a film.
Mm-hmm. And it was shot in 11 days.
In a very short amount of time.
And at first, no one wanted to distribute the film. So the filmmakers sold the DVD on Amazon themselves. And it took a year to sell 1,000 copies.
Wow.
I wonder if they even went to like Troma. Well, no. With Troma, you have to actually give them the
rights to the film?
Yeah. So, and it goes underneath the Troma flag. Mm-hmm. So I can understand why they didn't go that route. And this was before the Kickstarter era. So, yeah. So, okay. So that was sort of like what happened behind the scenes type thing. Let's get into the movie.
One of the reasons why this is one of our favorite films to begin with is because it's just really kind of crazy. Mm-hmm. You know, it's about this psychotic turkey that, for one, is psychotic, and he's just out for revenge, so he just maliciously kills people for no... It doesn't seem like he has a reason, but you finally find out that he does have a reason.
But it's a very lame reason on it.
He's just out for revenge, and he kills people, and he's maniacal about it, and he makes really corny jokes about it too. So it's hilarious and funny, and you're like, wow.
Yeah, and it's just like everyone knows this is a big giant joke. Like this film, they know it's a big giant joke. So they don't ever take themselves seriously in it, which I think really works too.
Yeah.
I mean, from like when we see, when we see the main characters getting out of college, Billy, which is the large guy with the goatee, rips his shirt off, and he's like, Thanksgiving, like it's spring break. Mm-hmm. And the other chick is flashing her
He
bra.
does it. And his friend's like, dude, why are you doing that? Nobody wants to see that. And he goes, watch, I'm doing it so Allie will flash her boobs. And it works.
Well, she flashed her bra. But
It works. I'm like amazed. The first time I watched this movie, I'm like, why does that dumb dude think that chick's gonna flash somebody because he did that? And it actually works because this chick is so much of an airhead that it works. I'm like, wow.
Yeah, her head has definitely hit the board one too many times.
I think if she blew into a balloon, it would float away.
Yeah.
She's got a head full of helium, I swear.
It's just, yeah. And then, it's just, all the interactions are very weird, but they seem like cordial, like, they seem like they're fine with each other, like they've been friends for a while. It's just sort of an interesting...
Yeah, it's interesting. So for this film, I think we're going to have to go back to how we were originally doing it, just because, for timeline's sake, if we go through and tell you kind of what happens, and we could tell you the kills for one, and the different little jokes that happen. I think that's probably the best way to do it. I didn't write down every single detail, but the jokes and the deaths definitely. So what happens first is, like we just said a second ago, they get out of school for Thanksgiving break, college.
Oh, they do not look like college students. They look like 30-year-olds.
Yeah. Not your atypical college student, we'll say that.
Yeah.
Because, you could be 30 and go to college. But anyway.
I think it's the advanced college.
But you're not going to go get out of college for your Thanksgiving Day break and go home to your parents when you're 30. Most likely, you're not going to do that. So they get out of college for Thanksgiving break. They're all getting in the vehicle together to drive home. Before they get in the vehicle, Billy, who is a heavier set guy, rips his tank top. And Allie, who's the ditzy one, says, Yay, Thanksgiving break! And lifts her shirt up.
And he calls it like Titsgiving or what?
Titsgiving, yeah.
And it's like this entire thing is just like
It's over-exaggerated.
over-exaggerating what Thanksgiving is.
Yeah.
I mean, to everybody else, this is the beginning of the 3 F's.
Mm-hmm.
Forced family fun. Mm-hmm. These people are like, I think like they're going to like the beach to party on a kegger.
So they all get in a car and they're driving down the road. And the one guy who's very nerdy, his name is Darren. Is that right?
Yeah. He's also very awkward because he has this like weird tick where he like slimes.
He kind of slobbers and he's always wiping his mouth with his hand, and it makes a lot of noise, and it's not becoming. It's not. Well, Darren's like, I'm gonna have fun on this trip, and you know what? I'm gonna let loose. I'm gonna have sex. I'm gonna have sex with somebody in this car, and they're all looking at him like, And Allie goes, not with me. I'm a prude. Everybody laughs. Christian says, Allie's legs are harder to shut than the John Benet Ramsey case. And everybody cracks up laughing.
But even in 2008, that was an old joke.
Well, that joke was funny the first time. After the third or fourth time she tells it, it's not funny anymore.
I don't even think it was funny the first time around. It was just sort of like...
It was a little bit funny the first time.
Okay.
We've seen this movie how many times?
Yeah, but,
it's not funny to us.
Okay, but
anymore.
I mean, it's a little bit funny, but at the same point, it's like at that time, it was still an old joke.
Well, yes, okay. They're driving down the road. It cuts off to a scene where you see Kristen's dad, and you know it's her dad because she calls him and says, I'm on my way home. Kristen's dad is sitting down to breakfast. He takes a swig of his coffee and he asks his wife, what's wrong with this coffee? It tastes like poo. And his wife's like, as a matter of fact, I did poop in your coffee. And she shows him the coffee pot and it's got a turd floating in it.
Well, that's how you always announce your divorces, by pooping in
And she's like, I want a divorce. And he goes, okay then.
He's a chip-rolled fellow that
I'm sorry, but if my spouse pooped in my coffee, I'd be like, get the hell out.
And then, his daughter calls.
I wouldn't be happy about it. It looked like he had poo smeared on his face.
Yeah,
Ew.
and Chrissy calls him, and he's like, at the end of the conversation, he's like, oh yeah, by the way, your stepmama left me. And it's like, he's just like, whatever. It
happened again.
Yeah.
So there's this hermit guy in the woods. He has a dog called Flashy.
And he's always going on about how he's an old hag. And I always thought hag meant old woman, not old guy in the woods.
So his dog runs off from him, and he's hollering at his dog to get back here. And it hikes its leg up on this miniaturized totem off in the woods.
And it was very pristine looking.
Yeah. And this is what wakes up the turkey. The turkey that's supposed to be coming alive every 550 years. Okay, so the group of college kids have trouble with the car, so they decide to camp. I skipped something. I apologize. When the dog pees on the totem and turkey comes to life, he gets up out of the ground and he kills the dog.
Yes. So we come to our first kill scene.
Yes.
So what do you rate it as?
Why do I have the dog listed as number 2 when dog should be 1?
I don't know.
I totally messed up.
So I rate it as a 1. It's just really... He just bites into him.
Yeah.
Kills him that way, and you really don't see much.
Right.
It's just more the lead up, like how the turkey is reacting as he's getting urinated on. That makes it
He's
funny.
like, ah!
Yeah.
He's freaking out about it.
He's getting pissed on. So he got pissed off.
Yeah. It's pretty funny. The word play is...
It's actually pretty good in this movie.
Good. So the guy is hollering for his dog and he's, Flashy, Flashy, where are you? And the turkey says, I accidentally killed your dog.
Yeah, because he also, I guess, finished him off with the axe.
Yeah, I accidentally found your dog with my axe.
Yeah, that was just sort of like, oh, okay. Horrible puns.
Woo! So the pun was more fun than the kill, so...
Yeah.
So the college students have car trouble, so they decide to pull over and camp. So they make camp. They just so happen to have camping gear in the back of the car.
Because it's Thanksgiving.
I don't ask any questions with these horror movies anymore because I'm a very realist thinking person. And that kind of thinking doesn't work with these movies, so I just go with it.
Well, you know, on Thanksgiving, you always go camping.
I just go with it.
And you party, and you have the kegger with turkey.
They already had a cooler full of beer. They already had sleeping bags. They already had tents. So I was like, cool. They're prepared.
I don't even know, like, the distance between college and and their house.
None of that was explained. And Darren went back to the car to get something and walked back to the campsite and saw a sign that was knocked down that said Crawberg. Oh, he realized they were in Crawberg, and that's scary.
Okay, but he found an old ancient sign on the side of the road covered up by other stuff that hasn't been touched for 550 some odd years.
No, previously it was called Crawl with an L, Berg.
Okay, still, the town doesn't exist there, so they have a sign that they just randomly found on the side of the road that no one just picked up.
So Darren remembered the story of the town about the killer turkey that comes back every Thanksgiving, every 550 years, due to a curse from an Indian chief.
Well, let's talk about that animation. Chief Long Nipples there.
Yeah, that animation I could have done without.
The chief has some serious nipples.
Yeah, he had some issues.
And he also had one eye that liked to go steer off in other directions.
Yeah, I could have lived without that.
And some of the stuff in the background was interesting.
Yeah. So the Pilgrims disrespected the chief and the Indians. So he taught them all a lesson and decided that he would curse the turkey to come back and kill the descendants.
But supposedly this chief was the most powerful necromancer or turcomancer that this tribe had.
Right.
And they never explain, like, exactly what they did to, like, disrespect them.
No. Must have been pretty bad.
Well, with this whole thing, it might have been just something really stupid.
I don't know. It was bad enough for them to curse them for generations and generations and generations. So.
With a killer turkey.
Well, so after this, Kristen decides she's going to call her dad because she had called him and told him that she was going to be home shortly and they had car trouble. And she said that he was going to be worried about her. Well, at the campsite, she didn't have a signal. So she walked back closer to the road. She calls him. And everybody's freaked out about this whole turkey story. So she's telling herself, there is no killer turkey. 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 Because she was hearing rustling in the bushes. And then she hears back, there is no killer turkey. It's the turkey. She looks down, and the turkey says, there is no killer turkey to her. And she screams, and the turkey's like, shut up! Shut up!
Because the screaming is really, like, that's his, like,
Her
kryptonite.
screaming is really high-pitched, and he's, like, cursing at her and calling her a bee, and he's like, shut the crap up! And she's like, don't hurt me. And he says, my favorite line in the film, I'm gonna drink your blood like cranberry sauce.
Meanie.
Meanie.
So, okay. So
Meanie.
The one thing you could take out of this entire scene that's an educational moment is that there are such things as turkeyologists.
I can't get over that. Turkeyologist, what the heck?
Talk about useless college degrees.
So she runs back to the campsite and is telling everybody, there are turkeys. I saw one. Blah, 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 blah. And everybody's like, sure you did. Trying to scare us. Sure you did. Well, nobody believed her, obviously. Well, they all decided to go to bed. So everybody, got in their tents and everybody went to bed.
Except for Billy.
Billy slept outside by the fire. So they wake up the next morning. Billy wakes up and the hermit who was out in the woods is standing over the top of him with a shotgun. And Billy's like, dude, what the heck are you doing? He says, I've been standing out here keeping guard. Good thing that turkey was wanting to have his way with you. See those turkey droppings on your chest? The turkey had dropped a deuce on his chest.
They really did not look like turkey deuces.
No, I don't know what they were, but I don't imagine that turkey's poop would look like that. But anyway.
I guess we're becoming turkeyologists.
So they fixed the car and they left. Well, Turkey decided that he was going to hitch a ride and leave too. So Turkey's on the side of the road thumbing it. This guy stops to give him a ride. This is the weirdest conversation I've ever heard in my life. The guy opens the door for Turkey and the guy asks him, I have to say it like this or it's not going to sound right. He says, ass, cash, or grass? Turkey says, I don't have cash, or grass, so I guess ass. So the guy proceeds to unzip his fly while checking out Turkey's backside, because Turkey had turned around at this time. Turkey says his butt is not for anyone and puts a shotgun in the guy's face.
Well, again, we don't know where the shotgun comes from. It just magically appears. But here's my other question.
Turkey must have a lot of space in his plumage, is all I can say.
Well, and here we start seeing the beginning of do they recognize that he's a turkey?
I don't know.
Because, I mean, this is not the first time they don't recognize that he's a turkey.
I don't know.
Other people don't.
So the guy starts freaking out and says, I have a daughter, don't shoot me. He says, you have a daughter? He says, yeah. He says, call her. So the guy calls his daughter and he has her on the phone and he says, I love you, sweetheart. Tell mommy I love her and give her a kiss for me. And then Turkey blows his brains away.
So what do you rate this one?
I give that one a solid 3. Just because he had the gall to blow his brains out with his kid on the phone.
Yeah, I mean, it was pretty vindictive.
Yeah. So that was the third killing. Turkey shows up at Johnny's house while Johnny is on the back porch talking to his dad.
Yeah, and so the whole, like, thing with Johnny is that he broke his leg or whatever. And he's not the first string quarterback of...
Right. He was the all-star quarterback on his football team.
And his dad doesn't want anything to do with him because he lost...
He wasn't number 1. His dad was the all-star quarterback on his football team. So he was supposed to follow in his old man's footsteps.
And then the mom was like, well, it's only been 2 weeks. I'm pretty sure you forgot it by now. And it's like they had this weird father-son interaction where, there's a flashback of him chucking the football and he's like catching it at 30.
It's strange. So he's talking to his dad and they're having a good time and they're, bonding. And the next thing you know it, Turkey jumps on his dad's back and starts cutting his freaking head off.
Yeah.
And then he chucks his dad's head at Johnny, and Johnny catches it like a freaking football. And Johnny just starts screaming and crying. And
then he ran inside and he was like screaming for his mom, and the mom was dead.
He's freaking out.
And then he gets into his truck, or not his truck, but his Jeep, and starts lamenting how there's not going to be more cranberry sauce or pumpkin pie.
Yeah. No more pumpkin pie. No more cranberry sauce.
Damn turkey. Oh, it's the turkey.
His parents are dead, and he's worried about Thanksgiving dinner.
Yeah.
Of all the things, when your parents are dead, you're going to be all upset about Thanksgiving dinner. Really?
I mean, if you didn't know, you could get cranberry sauce in a can, which Mom probably got, and you could also pick up a pumpkin pie from the store.
You can go to a lot of grocery stores and order an entire dinner.
Yeah.
Heck, a lot of grocery stores have it now to where you can order the entire dinner and just pull up to the store at a scheduled time and they will bring it out to you, to the car.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
And that's not including all the restaurants.
Right.
That are seeing an opportunity.
Right. So his next pit stop is Allie's house. He goes to Allie's house and she's getting it on.
But
and
not
the doggy.
But not very interesting. It's pretty boring.
So I guess he realized that she was getting bored with the guy that was doing the deed. So he kills him and he takes over.
The turkey. The turkey does.
The turkey does, yes. He takes over. And
he says something like pumpkin pie. It's just everything has to be Thanksgiving related puns.
Yes.
And you don't I never realized how many puns you can make out of Thanksgiving.
Oh, you do now.
Yeah. 70 minutes of Thanksgiving puns.
When the dude's blood started touching her back, she said, "Man, you finish fast." And the turkey started going at it, and she started enjoying it. And he finishes, and he says, "Man, that was great."
I guess after 550 years, anything is great.
And she looks back at him and she starts screaming. And what did she say? What did he say then?
I forgot. Insert.
Oh, he says, "You just got stuffed."
Yeah. Insert Thanksgiving pun here. It snaps her neck.
And then he snaps her neck.
And this is the lamest of all the kills. It was
the snapping of the neck was not that great. But the whole, "you got stuffed."
in the aftermath. So, they went to go look through her house or what, and then they find her and she's all, like snapped neck and all that. And they pick up a condom wrapper and it's extra small gravy flavored condom. So.
And they were like, "Look, even the turkey didn't trust her."
Yeah.
Even the turkey was not stupid enough to put it in her without protection. That's pretty bad. Okay, so at this point, the others that are surviving have gotten together and have decided to try and figure out how to kill this Dad Blaine turkey.
Yep.
Okay, Turkey goes to Kristen's dad's. Kristen's dad is the sheriff. The group head over there to look over Kristen's dad's books.
Well, okay, before that, Turkey and Kristen's dad had the sheriff had a long, meaningful conversation, quote unquote.
Well, they talk about going over there before.
Okay.
So Turkey shows up at the sheriff's house, knocks on the door, and asks if Kristen is there. Actually, no, he didn't ask for Kristen. He asked for Karen or something.
Yeah.
And he says, "You mean Kristen?" And he says, Yeah, Kristen.
And he has this, the
fake nose with the sunglasses or glasses
and
attached.
the mustache.
And that's it. No, it didn't have a mustache.
Well, they usually come with a mustache, but...
Yeah. And the sheriff says, "Well, I didn't know Kristen had any midget friends." And he kept making midget comments. And Turkey was like, "One more time. Just
Again,
one
do they
more
not...
time."
Do they not realize he's a turkey? I have a theory about this that we can revisit at the end of this. But I have a theory.
And Turkey's like, "Just one more time." And right as he goes to leave, he gets halfway out of the kitchen, and the sheriff goes, he says something. What did he say? I can't remember.
It was something really stupid, too. It was like...
Something about, "Goodbye, little fella," or something.
Yeah, I think
something. It's very innocent, but it had to do with size. It was something little. And Turkey just snapped.
Well,
He snapped.
I think the funniest sort of their back and forth was, he was saying well, the turkey said fudge, and he was like, "Well, I don't care about the size of the word. I care about the age of the word." And Turkey was like 510 years, and he was like, "Well, fudge it then." They're just both sitting there drinking coffee, just chilling. And he's in his big old turkey costume.
Yeah, he's in an actual turkey costume. Because they were supposed to go to some Thanksgiving gala or something. Him and his daughter were a police gala or something. Anyway.
Yeah.
And Turkey had said the F-bomb. And the sheriff was like, "Did you say the F-bomb?" And Turkey was like, "Why? Do you not like that?" And he goes, "I'm not concerned about the size of the F. I'm more worried about the age of the F." And Turkey's like, "I'm 550 years old." And he goes, "Well, F it then."
Yeah. It was a weird... This whole interaction was weird.
It was. And for a while, they just sat there and kind of stared at the wall. And they talked about what kind of coffee they were drinking and just random stuff. And
Hazelnut?
Turkey's like, "Well, I guess I'll go now." And he goes, "All right then, little fella." And then Turkey was like,
That's it.
I've had enough.
Like he's gonna.
He had no intention in killing him.
Yeah.
None. He just got tired of the little jokes, and so he killed him, skinned his face, and wore his face as a mask. So, a man that's normally almost 6 foot tall could pass as, a 1 foot tall turkey with, a person's skin as a mask. Well, they all got to Kristen's dad's house, found the book that had the information for how to kill turkey in it.
Because everybody has a book on how to kill evil turkey.
Sure.
I know, I have several.
Yeah, because you never know who may have...
evil turkeys, evil resurrected turkeys.
Right,
that are 500.
You never know.
Never know. You just never know.
No. So...
I mean, it's by some of the best turkeyologists.
There's only a few experts in the field, and they all have written books.
You want to know something? Turkey.
So they found out to kill turkey, you must remove his talisman, which most likely is hidden underneath his plumage, and you must recite a chant, or you must chant the spell backwards in unison.
Mm-hmm. But the only way that you could do that is if you break the mathematical code.
Right. You don't know what the chant is unless you break the code. Well, it took them to figure out, in order for them to figure out that the turkey was not the sheriff, Billy got frustrated and got hungry and went into the kitchen, and he saw the turkey dragging his body across the floor without a face on it.
Yeah, they just realized that turkey is actually...
And turkey almost convinced him that it was nothing as he was dragging the sheriff's dead body across the floor.
Yeah.
That's how dense these people are. He almost got out of it. So they all got in a big argument, and Billy ended up leaving because he was hungry and he didn't want to fool with everything.
And then they told him to just go outside. You'll find something to eat. Because you always tell somebody who's hungry to go outside and forage.
Well, they just told him to go outside to try to get his mind off of it, I think. He saw a cartoon floating turkey leg.
No, it was a whole turkey. It was a cartoon whole turkey.
Oh, it was a whole turkey. I thought it was a turkey leg. It almost looked like fog.
Yeah.
So he consumed it. He opened his mouth and sucked it into his mouth. It was weird.
You always eat cartoon turkeys. It's a rule. You have to, once you see a cartoon turkey out in the middle of nowhere, or if you're walking, it's just chilling there, you have to consume it because you might get an extra life.
Sure.
Game logic.
So, within a couple of minutes of that, Turkey shot his way out of Billy's stomach with a shotgun. He comes out and he says, "Gobble, gobble, mother effer. Now that's foul play."
Yeah. Again, not knowing how he got the shotgun.
Logic does not work here.
Nope.
Sorry.
Basically, that's the whole theory of this movie. Just don't think and just go with it.
So what do you rate this?
I rated it a 5.
Yeah. Poor Billy. So the others find Billy and they go and search for Turkey. They just leave Billy there to, bleed out.
Well, there's a whole crying scene and a song. A very awkward...
We won't talk about that because it's just pathetic.
Billy, my one and only friend. Billy.
I believe it was my best friend.
Oh, yeah. My best friend, Billy.
So they find Turkey's teepee.
And he's in an awkward situation looking at Betty Crocker to toss toss a salad. Like, literally tossing a salad.
Yes, he's eating the salad.
Yes, after when you're on a killing spree, to get your nourishment.
So you eat a healthy salad.
Yeah.
He doesn't even use dressing.
No. But he's looking at it like it's the most complicated thing there ever existed. Was this how to make?
He's a turkey. He's not a chef.
He's not Guy Ferrera.
Eaten, not eating.
He's not Guy Ferrera.
You're not saying it right.
Well, okay, he's not.
Guy Fieri.
He's not Gordon Ramsay.
No.
Or Gordon Turkey.
No. So they have this really crappy piece of rope. It's like flimsy.
It's like one step up again of a shoelace.
Yeah. And Darren ties him up. They begin the chant. Turkey gets loose and runs off. What he doesn't realize is right outside the tent is the good old hermit, and he's waiting with the shotgun. So Turkey takes a bullet, and everyone thinks he's dead. Because when that bullet hits him, he goes airborne. And flies into a dumpster. Everybody thinks he's dead, so everybody goes, yay, let's go back home. The remaining 3 go back to Kristen's house to watch a movie.
Well, Kristen kicks it into... No, okay.
The shotgun bullet hits him and he goes airborne.
Well, I'm thinking ahead.
It flashes back to the trash can that Turkey flew into. And there's a big label on it that says toxic waste.
Well, don't you always keep your toxic waste in your backyard? They can shoot wild turkeys into?
Yes, with the lid up, not sealed properly.
Yeah.
Makes total sense.
Well, you have to. You just have to.
Turkey returns while Darren is getting a snack. Turkey rips out his throat.
Well, okay, so that whole interaction is really awkward. Where they're just sort of like screwing it. Like him, not him, but Johnny and... What's her name?
Yeah, Johnny and Kristen are making out on the couch. And Johnny stops and says he had a dream that Turkey returned. How do you have a dream while you're making out with somebody?
Yeah, but I mean...
I don't understand that. I mean, I've had daydreams, but I was like staring off into space. I wasn't like sucking face. When you're sucking face, you're kind of concentrated on what's going on. You're not like, it must have not been that enjoyable if his brain was somewhere else.
Yeah. I don't know. It was just very weird, and he's like, yeah, I'm just gonna get something to eat.
No, he said, I had a dream that Turkey came back, so I'm gonna go check on Darren.
Yeah. Like, and then Darren gets nailed in the butt with a meat thermometer.
Yeah, right in the cheek. He just like stabbed it right in him. Then he ripped his throat out. Mm-hmm. So what do you rate that?
Let's see.
No, that's the driver.
3.
3?
Yeah.
So Johnny dreams that Turkey returns.
Oh, we forgot the other thing. Come on, Darren. There's no turkeys up here.
Yeah.
Come on. God's awaiting. There's no turkeys up here.
So, yeah. So, Darren and Billy were best friends. And when Darren dies, he sees Billy in the clouds, and Billy says, come on, Darren, come with me. There's no evil turkeys up here.
Come on, God's waiting.
Crazy. So Johnny goes in to check on Darren, and he finds that he's dead. Turkey stabs Johnny in the gut with an electrical knife. Kristen comes in and helps Johnny get out of the house. They go and hide in the shed. She uses a can of paint and a lighter as a blowtorch. Then she she hits Turkey with a bat after she, makes him into a flying ball of flames. And he lands perfectly into a
random bonfire.
No, there's like a thatchet stacked sticks already perfectly stacked up. And she hits him into that and crucifies him like a witch. And he says he will be back.
Yeah. And then she also, leg pops out and she eats it.
Yeah, that's pretty gross.
Yeah. After the toxic and all that. Yeah. So
The very last scene is a family sitting down at the table filled with Thanksgiving dinner food.
And one guy wearing a turkey hat.
Yeah. And right before they cut into the turkey, it stands up and says, "I smell a sequel."
Yep.
And jumps off the table.
Okay.
And that was the end of it.
I just love Thanksgiving this much. Okay, so well, let's do the final score. I give it a 4 out of 5.
Yep.
I just think it's a great Thanksgiving film, and it's just funny.
It is funny.
Okay, so there's a lot about this movie that just is very, they really blow Thanksgiving out of proportion.
They do.
It's like, okay, Thanksgiving is an okay holiday, but wow, I mean, everybody's just it's the best holiday ever is Thanksgiving. Okay, so here's my theory. My theory is that only the people that Turkey is hunting see him as a turkey, and everybody else sees him as a human being. But that doesn't make any sense either. But it just only makes sense with the driver and the sheriff, or they're just that stupid. I'm not quite sure which, or they've never seen a turkey before in their entire life.
I think it's a little country town, and maybe these people are just kind of naive.
Okay. I know what a turkey looks like, though. There's naivety, and then there's...
But that's what they're trying to portray in the film.
Okay. All right.
Reality is not in the film.
Well, true. So, the music. How do you feel about the music in this?
In the beginning, the background music is obnoxious and it's too loud. It takes over. And it doesn't really match the tone of the film.
Yeah.
As the film progresses, it gets much, 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 much better.
It's a weird, well, I love, the credit song, the credit music. It's this techno turkey music.
Yes, I like that music. In the beginning of the film, it sounds like music that should be playing in a mall.
Yeah.
And not a mall in the 2000s, a mall in the early 90s. It does not belong in a film.
No.
Unless the film is a film of a mall. Or an elevator.
Or Silent Darkness.
No.
Okay, so there's a lot of puns in this movie that make this movie great.
Yes.
One of the best ones is "I'm gonna drink your blood like cranberry sauce."
I love that one.
Nice titch, biatch.
Mm-hmm.
And, the stuff about the turkeyologist just cracks me up every time. And then just let's go to my dad's house. He has plenty of books on evil turkeys.
And get there, and it's the turkey with the dad's skin on his face, and "Hi, Dad. You look different than earlier. What did you do?"
Or, do you know where...
And he takes the hat off and he goes, she goes, oh, you got a haircut. Yes, and I lost 5 feet too. You didn't notice that, but you noticed I have no faint hair. Okay.
Or even better was when he was like, can you show me where the garage is? He was like, oh, just remind me where that is.
Sure.
Yeah, and they're also... I love that the little montage that they had with Billy trying to read. It's just... There's a lot of, like, really good, like, little things that you watch that it just is hilarious in this movie.
So I do believe this is available on Amazon Prime. We just happen to have a personal copy of it, but it is a very good film. And there is ThanksKilling, the original, and ThanksKilling 3. 3 is actually the sequel, so...
And we'll do that one later, probably next Thanksgiving. But you could watch both of them. But out of those two, ThanksKilling, the first one is my favorite.
Yeah.
The only thing that I don't like about ThanksKilling 3 is just I think they just put too much into it. I like how this one was simple and it just went with the punning. I think it's just an overall good film. Other than that, I hope you all have a good Thanksgiving. No evil turkeys. Resurrect. Remember, if you do, contact your nearest turkeologists, or try to find your nearest turkeologist book.
Yeah.
Let's see. And I hope that you all have a safe drive to wherever you are. I hope that everybody is okay on their Black Friday. If you're going out, remember to take a shield and a baseball bat. And
I would say I'm not going anywhere, but I think I'm going to be working that day.
And then, what else? Just don't overstuff, but get full.
That's a nice thing to say, but we all do it.
Yeah.
Everybody does it.
So, my best saying is, stop your belly aching. You did it to yourself. And just let's hope.
As I say to Bunny Man, I only cook the food. I don't control the fork.
And let's just hope your turkey doesn't come up and kill you. And if your parents happen to die on Thanksgiving, don't lament over Thanksgiving dinner.
No, we all have our little traditions, so we try to keep them alive no matter what happens, because, we have traditions for a reason.
Yeah, and let's just remember, Thanksgiving is not about... It's just about family.
Right.
It's about our community. It's not about everything else. I think that's my stance on it.
Mm-hmm.
So, let's just try to enjoy the holiday as best as we can.
Yeah.
So, whatever your tradition is, that's your tradition. We don't watch football, but we'll watch ThanksKilling, so...
Yeah, we're not sports people. So.
No, other than hockey. So, we'll see you next time.
Yep, scare you later.
Bye.